Alright guys, Tactical here back again today. Hope you're enjoying your Wednesday so far. Today, mainly wanted to talk about Dashy and the OpTic gaming lineup. A couple of weeks ago now, we heard these rumours that were pretty legit, to be honest, talking about how Dashy may not be anymore in the OpTic gaming starting lineup, and, well, a lot of things pointed in that direction. Yesterday, or maybe the day before, as you guys are watching this video, a clip came out from Dashy's stream where he was talking to Parasite. Parasite says, "Yo, Dashy, why are you not starting?" And then Dashy says, "I'm starting, I've been scrimming with the team, I dropped like 43 kills or something like that." So what exactly is going on here? Let's try and break this down over the coming minutes. Like, if you guys enjoy the video, it would greatly appreciate it, or I would greatly appreciate it. And so with the channel, really helps out more than a lot of people realise. Subscribe if you're new as always to make sure you don't miss any of these videos coming up. Let's hop right into things. Firstly, this from Intel Call of Duty here, which I found really interesting indeed. You guys might remember how Nasty was picked up onto the Royal Ravens, Rated went onto the bench. We've talked about this a number of times now, but Shawnee replaced him in the starting lineup at the exhibition match a couple of weeks ago. What exactly was going on here? Why was Shawnee in the team instead of Nasty? What a lot of people thought was that Nasty's visa issues were not in place, and maybe he was in the US on an ESTA, electronic security of, I don't know, travel authorization, something like that. Basically, on that type of visa, you cannot work on it, so I imagine maybe the exhibition match playing in that would have been considered work, so I thought maybe they were waiting for Royal Ravens to get proper visa, working visa permissions, so then he could play in the starting lineup in the upcoming online season instead of Shawnee. However, as Shocking says here, Nasty was playing in the EU Open today. Is he not part of the starting roster for London? So it almost looks like Nasty's gone to the US, come back to the UK, and now, as Intel Call of Duty says, he flew back a few days ago. Shawnee replaced him in the starting lineup for Royal Ravens. Don't know, probably visa stuff, and I think I saw a tweet from Nasty as well implying a similar fate. So, not great to see from him. I was kind of looking forward to seeing that team in action, but Shawnee now in this squad instead of Rated. What the hell is going on here? Very confusing indeed. But of course, they will be playing in the next event, the Chicago Huntsman home series online, April 24th through April 26th. That being London Royal Ravens Atlanta faces the first match. So a tough matchup for them, and also of course OpTic Gaming Los Angeles here playing against the Dallas Empire, and that is the topic I wanted to discuss today. So a few weeks ago now we had these tweets come out from Dashy, 1st of April, 29th of March, "Backstabbed so many times I started walking backwards. When you realise..." We were looking at this image and say, what's going on here? Is it because MattG's behind him, like some sort of team chemistry issues? We looked at those clips from the, well, what was it called? The Codcast with Nameless and Pac-Man, and there was some discussion about Dashy for Nameless, or Dashy for Nameless, Dashy for Gunless, and, you know, Nameless gave that suggestion, and at the time Pac-Man, who you can see right here on the podcast, said, oh, there's no chance Chicago would give up Gunless for Dashy, but maybe, you know, OpTic Gaming Los Angeles would give up Dashy for someone else, and that was Nameless's suggestion, was that, look, Dashy is causing the internal chemistry issues within the team by not being super committed and, you know, clearly maybe not listening to Slasher's advice and Slasher's way of dealing with the team, because Slasher effectively controls this team in the sense that's understandable that is the way OpTic Gaming have organised their squad. You know, MattG and Slasher on the 100 Thieves team last season in a kind of similar situation. So what's going on here? A lot of people looked at this, and I thought at the time that probably Dashy is out of the team, and there were a couple of other reasons to look at that as well. So this was one of them. Then we also had this that came out. So there was a leaked screenshot of them scrimming the OpTic Gaming team with Chino instead of Dashy. Initially, people were saying, oh, you know, well, Dashy was going back to Canada due to the whole pandemic situation, so they were just getting Chino in for the time being. However, it turned out that Dashy had actually been back in Canada several days before then. So the people who are, you know, looking at this and saying, oh, it was just a transitionary period while Dashy went back, I can't really see why that's the case, given he's been back in Canada for like 3 weeks now. Why would he only be back in the starting lineup now if that is indeed the case, right? Like, we'll have a look at that clip in just a second here, but this was the first one I wanted to share. This came from Doug's stream at the time, and Slasher talks to JCap saying that Chino was running the trophy on the team. So pretty clear that that was at least at one point at the case.
Well, the thing about the trophy is, like, you die a lot throwing it, you know?
Right, Daddy's kind of lit. Give the trophy to Chin.
So then this is the clip that I wanted to share. Again, links to these down in the description box below. Dashy says he's starting, 25-second clip here. Interestingly, exactly the same spot on Hackney Yard.
Try to get these 10s going, you know?
Yeah, Brandon, why aren't you playing, bro? Why aren't you starting or whatever? What's going on, bro?
I'm starting. I literally just finished scrimming.
Wait, you're
Come to
starting
the
again? Let's go.
Again?
You're back. I swear somebody was subbing out, or you were subbed out, bro. What happened?
Just know I was playing today. That's all that
You're
matters.
just taking a break.
Oh, okay. Well, you're back and better than ever. I like that.
Dropped 43 today.
Ooh, 43.
I took a picture just in case everyone didn't see it.
So what exactly is going on here? Dashy says in the team like he's scrimming with the squad right now. Was this the right move? What's going on? Is this completely legit? Is Dashy being completely transparent? I have no reason to imagine that he's telling his stream that he's starting, even if he's not. So maybe something has changed. Look, it seems to me that at one point he wasn't in the team. A lot of indicators pointed towards the fact that earlier this month they had removed him from the starting lineup or made some sort of change. So what has changed between now and then that makes it the case that he is back in the starting lineup, if we take that to be the truth as well? Also to consider, who is he replacing in the starting lineup, right? Because we've had a lot of talk, and let's have a look here at some statistics for this team so far this season. People are talking about the Friendship League and talking about how, look, Jacob's dropping a 0.81 over the course of the season, but he's good friends with MattG, who's the general manager of the team, the Oak Boys, you know, there's no way they're getting rid of Cap. And, you know, okay, they bring in Chino for Dashy is at least the rumour right now. Make sure, I suppose, have Slasher more of an AR, Chino a little bit more of a flex role. Interesting situation with the whole team dynamics, to be honest. And we had this discussion about, okay, maybe you get Dashy out of the team, but Chino has experience and playing time with the other guys in the team. Kenny and I think Slasher back in the day as well. They obviously won a championship on the Team Caliber squads in the World War II days with Chino and Kenny on the squad back then as well. So in terms of chemistry, it seems to make sense bringing Chino in from that fundamental perspective. We talked about how Slasher has a way of running a team that maybe young stars who have a lot of talent, but a lot of ego, I suppose, find it difficult to deal with. And that's not necessarily saying Slasher's leadership style is good, but for certain players it works, for certain players it doesn't. And maybe it's better just to try and find players that do work with Slasher, because when you get a team around Slasher that does work together, it's always a championship contender. We've seen that time and time again. So look, on paper, I thought this changed, like, let's give it a go, I suppose, just to see what happens. And if Dashy, as Nameless was saying on the podcast, really is causing a lot of underlying chemistry issues, they don't want to get on and practice, it's causing big team cohesion issues. From the outside, it's very easy to say, oh, look, Dashy's got a 1.1, you can't get rid of him. But maybe internally, they thought that was an option. So let's say that did happen, that was the case, because a lot of indicators pointed towards that is the fact. So now, we're 2 weeks down the line. What has changed here? Now, I don't know what has changed, right? Of course, we have no idea from the outside looking in. But if Dashy is in the starting lineup, does that mean that he is out and well, he is in, and Chino, who was replacing him, is now out back on the bench, Chino and Gunjar, the substitutes for OpTic Gaming? Or does it mean they've made another change and Dashy's back in, and a player like Jacob is out the team? That's not out of the question, to be honest, because Jacob typically has been more of a slower paced assault rifle type player. The fact that he can't really do that in this team right now, given the current meta, does not make it out of the question to me that they brought Chino in the squad for a little bit of time. They played with Jacob. Maybe it went okay, maybe it didn't, and they spoke with Dashy behind the scenes, and MattG went to have a chat, and they had a team discussion, and Dashy, of course, was not happy with the situation, and they explained to him the reasons why he's been dropped, and were hopefully nice and transparent. And Dashy said, well, I'm obviously completely speculating here, and you guys can feel free to do so in the comments below, but let's say they had some sort of discussion along those lines, and Dashy's like, look, I really want to get back in the starting lineup, like, what can I do, you know, Slasher, I suppose, give me some advice on what direction to take here, because I highly doubt Slasher is the one out of the team in this instance, but who knows what's the case. If Dashy is back in the starting lineup, maybe it's not for Chino. That's the discussion, which could be a thing. So let's say that is the case. Maybe they then say, okay, look, we don't have the slaying power on paper here without Dashy to make this work. Dashy on the bench, really, are we going to be a championship contending team without Dashy in the starting lineup? It's going to be incredibly hard to say, especially given that Jacob has had some issues with the online servers, and Jacob's probably an even poorer player in terms of straight KD wise. Not saying he's a poor player overall, but you know, he's probably even worse online than he is on LAN, right? So if there is a change you want to make, Dashy's been doing online for years. He's pretty cracked out. That works with online play and the kind of the style you have to play to be so successful online. Maybe they've decided to get him back in for that reason. So would be intrigued to hear your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. I imagine Dashy was out the team at some point, a couple of weeks down the line for whatever internal reasons. It seems like he's back in the squad. Question being, who does he replace in this team? Is Chino still in the squad or is he not? Is Jacob back in the team? I'm not 100% sure what's going on right now. I'll be intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below on this one for sure. Couple of other things to mention here before we finish off. Slasher then says, just because it's kind of on theme today with OpTic Gaming, the fact it's become acceptable for blatantly snake in competitive matches is laughable. If you guys remember snaking, it was really a big thing in Infinite Warfare back in the, well, when Splice were winning the Stage 1 playoffs. Effectively, there'd be a bit of cover, you lay down and stand up, you sprint to get out of your laying down posture. And the way the, the game mechanics work, it looks like you're still behind the object, where really you're standing up and you can see someone and you can shoot them. That exists in most games. It was really bad at Infinite Warfare. This game, it's not so bad, but with 12 Hz especially, it does become more of an issue. So Slasher calling out players who are doing that. Well, okay, he calls out players, but he doesn't add any names, right? Which would be good to see, but, you know, something to keep your eyes on for sure as we go forwards. Then I wanted to mention this coming up this weekend. We have the Call of Duty Challengers Cup this weekend, which I will be covering for sure. So last weekend, we had the Dallas Home Series Challengers Online Open type of thing. This weekend, we had the Challengers Cup for a lot of money at 25k NA, 20k Europe, 5k Asia Pacific. So it's going to be streamed online. So there's no pro matches this weekend, but there is all the Challenger stuff. So if your favorite player is not in the league, they're most likely going to be playing this weekend. And this will be an interesting one to cover and to watch as well. It'll be streamed with up-and-coming casters. Really, really cool stuff to see. And this is what I wish we'd have seen on LAN earlier in the season. But I guess it took this whole shake-up to get this underway. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on the entire topic down in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.